Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on A World Awakening. And we are a world awakening to the horrors of a world in turmoil and conflict. And tonight, I'm really going to let my special guest, who has appeared on this show more than anybody else repeatedly, there's a reason for it. Rupert Guy is a truly enlightened man who brings forth into the world a wisdom and a generosity of spirit second to none. It is my pleasure and my privilege. And I'm going to turn the show over to him tonight once we greet each other and greet you. And let him do what he does best, and that is meditation, that I think will bring all of us to a place where, at least for a few moments, we can have a sense of peace. So without further ado, please welcome Rupert.
Andrea, hello. It's good to see you again.
You too, sweetheart. You too.
How are you doing today?
I'm sad. I'm sad, I'm grief-stricken, just like any sentient, prescient being on this planet who is paying any attention to what is going on in the world. And, you know, I thought Ukraine knocked me off my feet, but what's happening in Israel and Gaza has flattened me. It's been a very difficult week. Tomorrow will mark a full week that we're into this. And I have such trepidation that it will only expand, and am deeply disheartened that humanity doesn't ever seem to learn a damn thing. But I also know that you have an innate ability to transform the moment, transcend the tragedy, and bring us to a better place in mind. And we have spent so much time together and have spoken about this recurrently, about thoughts being things. And when you feel helpless and hopeless, the one thing that you can do is create an intention of how you want the world to be and put that forth into the universe. And I just don't think that there's anybody out there that does that better than you do. And I'm really good at it, but you are extraordinary. And so I wanted to share you with my audience tonight and bring you into this process, my dear, dear man, because we need you. We need your wisdom. We need your guidance. We need that place that you can take us. And so, you know, talk about where we are, where we're going, how in the midst of complete chaos, we can find true north on our spiritual compass, that we can connect in a way that may be unquantifiable and immeasurable, but makes a difference in terms of raising the vibration of the entire planet.
Absolutely. You know, my whole life has been a process of learning about problems to the extent that then you can figure out solutions and then implement those solutions. So I'm going to suggest that the structure of this show, if you're open to it, can be, first of all, what are the problems? And the problems are out there for people to recognize themselves, but maybe it would help if you and I start off with, what do we see the problems as? And then we can move on to the solutions. There are solutions. And towards the end of this, as we move through the show, we will be telling our audience some of the solutions. And we have a plan. I have a plan. You have a plan.
I do.
And we share this plan with some of our non-human friends. and they
Yes.
are supporting us in this plan. So this is not just one or two people with random ideas, what can we do? This is a very strong movement already, which has the support of beings who can see the future, who know what's going on in the future. I'm going to put it to people that, you know, we have been the same species for about 400,000 years. And throughout that period of time, we have gone through the same cycles of warring and occasional peace, and warring and occasional peace, some level of enlightenment followed by collapse and chaos and warring and violence and suffering. That is what humans naturally are. That is where we still are. And sure, we've had the Industrial Revolution, we've got a few technologies and a better understanding of science, but that transformed our understanding of reality, not our understanding of morality, not our implementation of morality. Um, and what we need to do to solve these problems is this thing called ascension. And we need huge numbers of people all around the planet to ascend. And there is a process involved in that.
Yes,
And
there
the first step is enlightenment. That is gaining knowledge, knowledge that people in general don't already have. So part of the process is to teach people knowledge, new stuff. That's enlightenment. The next stage is then going to be to acquire wisdom to use that knowledge that they've got to do good.
Right.
And that is when you can then ascend. If there are people out there listening to this show thinking, let's just ascend, let's just be nice people and ascend. Humans don't have, in general, that capacity. We've proved it. So people listening to this show, I would like you to try and understand, you have to be better than human
Yes.
in order to
Yes.
solve the world's problems. We have to be more alien.
Mm-hmm.
We have to change the way we think about a number of things and the way we act in a number of ways. And that's the only way we're going to survive this. So that's my little introduction. And it might sound disheartening because it's severe, but unless we face the severity of it, then we are not going to be acting with the urgency to solve these problems. So maybe, Andrea, I'm going to ask you a question. How can you put into words the problems that you're seeing around the planet right now?
More of the same. More of the same. My mother was weeping in my arms not long ago, saying, I was born in war and I am dying in war. And the world is at war and the world has not changed and no one has learned a goddamn thing. And I'm so sad. I'm so sad and glad to be leaving. Rip my heart out of my body. But I understand completely. And I can't say if I weren't in her situation, born in 1939, and at the place that she is in 2023, I can't say that I would feel any different about that. And there's nothing cynical about it. It's just reality based.
Yeah.
And I guess the only thing that I can say in terms of what I see, and I don't mean this to be in any way a divisive comment. I don't. It's just the truth. And the truth is that men make war and women and children suffer and die. And men make more war and women and children suffer and die. And this recycled sickness, mental sickness of wanting to claim territory, wanting to claim souls for some particular religion or another. It is base. It is unevolved. It is the way of the world and the way of humanity. And if we do not recognize it, if we do not acknowledge this as a fact, until the good, pure of heart, true, loving men in the world stand up with righteous indignation against the kind of pure, unadulterated evil that we see unfolding around this planet, until that happens, I think that we are doomed. I have to believe that there's a modicum of hope, Rupert. I have always felt my whole life that the only thing that would cause the warriors to drop their weapons and drop to their knees would be that moment when our galactic family makes their presence known to the people of this earth worldwide as a global phenomenon. That would be literally the only thing that would immediately prompt a realization of oneness throughout humanity, that make us, and then what does that turn into? Us against them? Is that what that turns into? I mean, we're seeing it in our own Congress right now. Oh yeah, it looks like they're probably here and they do exist, but they're a threat. They're a threat. No, they're not. We're the threat. We are the threat to humanity. And the innocents that suffer and die because of the arrogance and the hubris and the power mongers and the money changers and we're just as screwed up gets in terms of the way we look at our own existence. I was just saying to Jeff on Soul School, the water buffalo and the whales and the pumas and the polar bears are not the ones defiling the planet. They're not. We are. And I had a difference of opinion with my producer, Serena, during an interview when I was speaking with a reporter for The Sun in London just recently to introduce the new movie, We Are Not Alone, that I'm a part of. And she said, oh, I think they just look down on us and see us as a bunch of like fire ants on a bed. And they're actually here just to try to preserve the planet. I said, that's entirely counterintuitive. Deductive logic would, deductive reasoning would dictate that if they were here exclusively with a singular intention to preserve planet Earth, then what would they do? Would be to wipe off the pestilence and the parasites off the planet that are causing all the damage to themselves and to the planet. That would preserve the planet if our 8 billion plus of us just vanished. And then Earth could heal and evolve naturally on its own, and the wildlife might not go extinct after all because we're the reason that they do. And she had to back off and say, I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely. I said, they love us, but they can't fix it for us. They can't, because then we won't learn anything. But it seems that we don't learn anything anyway. And it's easy to feel hopeless and helpless and cynical. But I truly believe thoughts are things. And that when you do your meditation and everybody comes along with you in this process, that we are in some way elevating human consciousness, that we are in the process of spiritual ascension. And though it is unquantifiable and it is an immeasurable process, it doesn't mean it's not working.
Yeah.
And we have to do something.
Yeah.
to affect positive change.
Yes. And we will. We will.
Yes.
I'm just going to write down. I'm just going to read out a brief summary of the situation as I see it on this planet right now. There are over 20 wars going on around the world right now.
Simultaneously. Yep.
Yeah. So we see one or two in the news quite a lot, but there's actually a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's not even talking about the smaller conflicts going on
Right.
around the world. There are over 13,000 nuclear weapons ready to be launched whenever people with the power feel like they want to.
The turn of a key and a push of a button. Yeah.
And I know that this is a sentence that some people will be disagreeing with. And, you know, I respect people's decisions, but I am a scientist, and the truth is something that is very clear on this matter. And recognizing the truth is the only way that we're going to solve this particular problem, and that is that human-caused climate change is accelerating our world towards uninhabitability.
Yes.
Now, that's something I learned decades ago in school.
Me too, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul Ehrlich.
We know that to be a fact, but there are people in this world who are benefiting from wars, destruction, the selling of fossil fuels and weapons and other things that are creating all of these problems. And they have such power in this world, and they have power with governments. And we're not going to solve these problems by waiting for our governments to fix them.
That's right.
So Andrea and myself, we know what the solutions are. And the solutions are enlightenment. That is a lot of learning. And I can stand here and put out a few sentences, but that's not how you learn stuff.
Right.
There is a process. And in my platform, in my new show, which is probably going to start in 2 to 3 weeks, Galactic Wisdom, I am going to be teaching a lot of the stuff that people need to know. But I also have the Galactic Wisdom Facebook group, the Galactic Wisdom Patreon group, where people can learn at an accelerated rate if they want to. But we are teaching people, Andrea and myself, we are helping people to gain non-human levels of wisdom. Now, if you sit back and you say, well, I'm wise already, you know, a few people out there are, but humanity as a whole, no, we're not there yet. So unless you think you're like really something special, you probably don't have that non-human wisdom. And we are helping people to become truly enlightened to the extent that we really are extreme. We have to be a little bit extreme here. We have to be extremists. We have to be extremely loving, extremely knowledgeable,
extremely
forgiving, kind, generous, tolerant. That there is a lot of things we need to be extreme on. This does not involve battling anybody. This is completely non-violent, non-aggressive. But we're setting in place, Andrea and myself, a path for people to follow if you feel the same urgency that we do. And it's a path that works. And what we're doing is we're building a light. Those of you that know Andrea, you know she is a bright, bright source of light, even though she's upset right now. And rightly, you know, understandably, she is a bright source of light in this world. I try to also be. And our light together, we're enhancing each other's strength, power, brilliance. And that is attracting a lot of people. It already has. And if you like what you're seeing, come and join us and shine with us.
Please
Let us
shine right with us. Yes.
Out into the world. And we don't need to go out and battle people, because when they see the love and the fun that we're having, they're going to want to be a part of that. I actually know a lot about psychology, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and things.
Mhm.
And I think that if you go up to those people, those men who with the weapons, and you offer them the love and the kindness and the compassion and the sense of community and belonging that psychologically we all need, I think they will, in many cases, lay down their arms in order to be a part of that. So this is what we're aiming to do. I apologize for talking so much, Andrea. Is there anything else you want to say
No,
before?
no, I need to hear just your voice, let alone the words, just your voice is so soothing to me. And I know that the people that are here with us in this platform tonight feel it too.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff and I just did an entire episode of Soul School about this. I feel like I've said everything that I have to say, and I just want to reiterate that I'm not cynical, I'm sad. I'm very grief stricken
Yeah.
because I'm so empathetic. I have an inordinate ability to put myself in the shoes or the sandals of another, the flip-flops of another. I feel like I walk that path with them, even if it's to escape to a safe place. I feel their angst. I feel their overwhelming sensation of being out of control. I think that control, having any control, is the illusion. I don't think that any of us really have any control. I mean, we live on a volatile living organism that does whatever it wants. Gaia, I told Jeff, I said, sometimes I feel like I am screaming into hurricane force winds and it's just being dispersed into the ether. And my friend Paula Harris, I said, I don't know if anybody's hearing me. And she said, they are. So I get that wink and nod every day. Part of the way that we are helping, and I think it's important to provide some clarity on this, Rupert. Part of the way that we are making a difference, and then squared. I'll give you that little mathematical nod. Us squared is by introducing people to our family, to our extended family, our galactic family. You've been with me. I've been with you. I mean, we have, you saw how people changed in the embrace in my arms, opening the third eye, having the experiences that they do. People laugh, they applaud, they weep. It's just this outpouring of emotion that you saw happening just at Houghton Lake, and then of course in Kansas City. And we're going to, our plan for the next year in 2024, which I believe to be a pivotal year in the course of human evolution. Not only for, the fracturing, the disclosure barriers that have been placed around us, but just freeing our minds and making universal connections in a way that I think we're at a make or break point. And so we are going to travel together. We're going to do a number of events together over the course of the year. Greta's already on it, Rupert. Believe me, I talked to her last night. She's like, I'm on it. Don't worry about this. Good. So you should call her, by the way, after your mom leaves. You should definitely call her and have a long conversation because she's got plans. But we're going to bring people together in groups, small and large, in groups where we can help them help themselves by understanding, enriching, and it's not just a cerebral activity. It's definitely from the heart. It's,
Yeah.
this is our core. And when we make that heart light connection, and when we speak in light language, when we come together and tap into that higher consciousness and achieve a full realization of oneness, we do have the ability to
Yeah.
change the world and to
Yeah.
heal the world. I believe that. You have, I told you, you have breathed new life into me. You have. I was ready to back off. And as my mother slips away and my attention is so focused on her, I was ready to just walk away, at least for a while, until I met you 6 months ago. And I have been re-inspired. As we quoted the lyrics from the Garden of Gethsemane to each other the other day, I once I was inspired, now I'm sad and tired. You have re-inspired me, and I will do everything in my power to come together with you at every available opportunity. It doesn't matter that we live 3,000 miles away. We will find a way. We are resilient, resourceful adults. We will find a way and make things happen and bring people together so that they can experience the connecting of hands,
Yes.
the warmth of an embrace, the kiss of a forehead, and the heart light beaming out into the universe for all to see. That's why we're here, my dear.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, we are going to build not just a community, we're going to build a family, a loving family that feels close, everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's what these beings have in their telepathic collective consciousnesses, in their empathic collective consciousnesses.
Yes.
And when we can achieve that, we will be a part of their interstellar family also.
At least when I take my last breath on this plane of action, I will die knowing I did everything in my power to affect positive change
Yes.
and a hopeful outcome on planet Earth for the time I resided here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you, Andrea, for letting me lead a lot of talking. And I know that we have a meditation planned. In order for people to understand what this meditation is, I'm going to just do a little bit of explaining about the process. I have researched manifesting for many decades. And people watching this show have probably seen in documentaries out there that when people focus their minds on a random number generating machine, they can push that machine to produce more ones or more zeros at will.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I don't have a random number generating machine, but you can toss a coin. And if you toss a coin high enough and spin it enough, that's a random number generator, basically. That produces heads and tails at random. I have done experiments where I have, in groups and by myself, focused my intention on the outcome of those coins. What I have found is every single time I do this, I can end up getting far more of one than the other. If we're focusing on heads, we end up getting more heads.
Which
And
defies probability and statistics.
yes, but what's nice is, you can quantify this. And we have, and you can, what is the chance of getting a head and then a head and then a head and then a head? It's a half times a half times a half times a half. You can do the math, and I have been doing the math, and it's like, what I've been able to achieve so far is one in a million chance of it happening, but it keeps happening, and a few more times, and it's going to be one in a billion, a million maybe, sorry, a billion probably. Now we have the ability to do that, and I teach people how to do that. And I will tell you some processes that work for me. First of all, understand that we're not using telekinesis to change how that coin is moving, because you can't see whether it's going to land on our heads or tails. And even if you could nudge it with your mind, that's not how this is working. What we're doing is in front of us in the future, there are multiple possibilities of how and where that coin can land. And every second into the future that we look, there are infinite number of possibilities. And what we can do is we can take our spirits, we can focus on our spirits like I do in a lot of my meditations, and we can reach out our spirits and take hold of those coins, and then we can extend our reach of those coins into the future, and we can feel for those possibilities where that coin is landing, let's say heads, and we can compel our progression through the timeline, everybody's progression through reality, to that reality where that is happening. And you can feel when you're getting it right, and you can know when you're getting it right even before you look at those coins, because something just feels like a harmony within you.
Visceral. Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you can, we've been able to do that. I've been able to do that to a deviation away from random by so far about 23%. 23% away from random. That's
remarkable.
significant.
It is.
And I'm sure that with practice we can push that up even higher. And I suspect that there are a few people out there that I know of in this realm that can do it so much better. But we can manifest not just coins, because that's not going to solve the world's problems, landing on heads. We can manifest, we can nudge reality significantly towards anything that is a possibility, any of those possible outcomes. What we can't do is perform miracles or do the impossible. That is impossible to do. What is impossible? You can't have that coin land on your hand having changed into gold, for example, because that's not a possibility in this reality. But it is possible it can land on heads or tails. We can take our manifesting abilities around the planet and positively affect many different situations, infinite numbers of different situations around the planet that are possible. That's what we're going to do today. So that's my little introduction. I better not do any more talking, otherwise we're not going to have enough time to do it.
Show is yours, my dear.
Should we do it? Okay.
Take us to higher love, to a different realm. Take us.
I will. So anybody watching this or listening to this right now, we're going to do a meditation, and you can listen along whatever you're doing. But I'm going to encourage you, if you feel the same desire to spread love and positivity and peace throughout the world, to just stop what you're doing for 10, 15 minutes and join in with us. Unless you're driving or flying a plane or riding a horse or something like that, operating a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Might want to consider.
Okay, I'm going to invite everybody to close your eyes and to relax your bodies. And we calm our minds. And we just feel that we are just about to do something positive and loving and valuable for the earth, for people on this planet. And so let us relax our bodies. We relax our bodies. We relax all the muscles in our bodies. Feel your feet muscles relax. The muscles in your legs relax. Your calf muscles, your upper leg muscles. Let us consciously let go of the tensions throughout our torsos. We relax our backs, our sides, our tummies, our chest areas. Let us free up all of our tensions and release them from our shoulders and our upper arms, our biceps and our triceps. Release the tensions in your lower arms and your hands. We're just letting go of our everyday lives, letting go of tensions in our muscles, stresses, stray thoughts in our lives. Let us just relax. And we take that relaxation up into our necks and into our heads. Free the tensions in your foreheads. Let go of the tensions in all those muscles that surround our eyes. Release and relax. And our whole bodies feel relaxed and calm. No stresses, no tensions. But we are not just biological bodies, we have our spirits within us. We are spiritual also, because we live not just in 3 dimensions, but in extra-dimensional spaces. And we have these beautiful spirits within us and extending outside of us. The spirits that give us life and the spirits that after our biological bodies die will continue into higher dimensional spaces, into spiritual realms. Let us feel our spirits within us. And we can even try and perceive them visually in our minds, perhaps in our third eyes, as luminous, circulating currents through every part of our bodies, through our fingers and hands, through our feet, through our faces and through our third eyes. And let us feel within our spirits the center of our chests, our hearts. It's within our hearts that we feel a lot of emotion. It's within our hearts, our chests, that we feel love. Let the love inside your heart glow brightly. We wish to send love out to all the beings of the universe today and more. We are going to wish peace upon everybody and harmony. Let us now radiate our love so that our love light shines on Andrea and myself and on Bill and on all of the people who are listening to this broadcast right now. Let us form a loving connection right now with us all. Let us feel each other's love and strength. And our spirits are not confined to our biological bodies. They're free to move around anywhere in the universe, anywhere in time. Feel your spirit growing lighter, and as if like a helium balloon rising up towards the ceiling, let your spirit rise up towards your ceiling. Take your consciousness up through your homes, up through the atmosphere. See your houses descending below, and we ascend up into space. And I am above the planet Earth, my spiritual body, and I'm like a large spiritual magnet to you. Let your consciousnesses drift towards me. Just let them find me. No straining is necessary. Andrea is here already. Let us all come together, this massive network of many thousands of listeners in space. Reach out your hands and your arms in welcoming. We all come together and connect in love. And we all look down together at the planet Earth below. Let us imagine that this planet Earth is alive as a conscious entity. Whether we believe it or not doesn't really matter. We can call this planet Gaia, and it is composed of multiple beautiful life forms, both human and non-human, animals in the ocean, on the land, and other advanced non-human beings also call Earth their homes. Let us imagine reaching out our spirit arms right now and embracing this planet in love. We wrap our arms around Gaia and we give her love, radiate that love to her, love and spiritual support. We blanket our planet in love. And while we're doing this, let us think of people in war zones. First of all, let us think of people who are suffering, people who are in physical pain, who may have been injured. Let us focus our attention on them and let us see a future in which they heal quickly. Out of all the futures where their condition may be getting worse or better, let us seek futures where everybody heals remarkably quickly. Everything goes right for them. And let us nudge their path into the future, into those realities. And we manifest faster, more effective healing for all of them. Let us embrace everybody who is in emotional pain, who is suffering from loss or heartbreak at losing or being separated from their loved ones. Let us wrap our arms around them and give them strength and support. And in their quest to try and find their loved ones, help their loved ones, they make decisions, they make choices to turn down that street or turn down that street, to say yes to this doctor or no to that doctor. Let us see progressions into the future where all of those people who are suffering are guided by our manifestation into a path that leads them to assist their loved ones the best, to have the best of luck, you might want to call it, and to help them, give them strength to keep going. We give them strength and we guide them onto those positive paths. Let us find all of those people out there that carry weapons, and let us embrace those people and give them spiritual strength to make wise decisions, empathic decisions, compassionate decisions. And when they choose to pull that trigger to kill somebody or wound somebody or not, let us see a future where they decide not to pull that trigger, to turn away, to retreat, to not inflict pain on somebody else, to find other ways. Let us see futures in which they miss their targets, or they find targets that are less damaging to people. We see those futures and we save lives by diverting their bullets away from people. Let us take our attention to those people who are in power, those few people around the country that are leading these conflicts, that have the ability to kill thousands or save millions. Let us embrace those people and let us whisper into their minds compassion. Let us help them to find empathy. And we are not forcing anything upon them. We're not manipulating them, overpowering them. We're not forcing them to do anything they don't want to do. we're choosing a future path where they themselves choose to feel empathy for others, because they have that possibility. And let us see a future in which they start to feel like maybe they're causing too much pain and destruction. Maybe they've done enough. Maybe they've sent the messages they need to send. Maybe there's other ways they can be powerful. And we see a future where wars are growing weaker and diminishing and ending. Let us wrap our arms around the whole planet and see a future where there is more peace, there is less destruction, and there is more wisdom, more people willing to learn, to become enlightened, to become wise, and to ascend. And let us see a future where the whole of humanity is ascended sufficiently that our friends from elsewhere in the universe land in front of us, approach us, and we embrace them physically. And we share interstellar love. Let us now drift our minds and our spirits, our consciousnesses, away from all of these visualizations, away from our manifestation, back into our own rooms or locations where our biological bodies are. We bring our spirits back into our biological bodies. We center our spiritual hearts where our biological hearts are. We draw back our spiritual hands into our biological hands, our spiritual feet into our biological feet. We feel whole and well and complete. Let us remain bright spiritually, and let us retain the love and the compassion for others that we felt during that meditation. When we're ready, our eyes can open and we can continue with Andrea's show.
I'm not ready to come back yet.
Okay, I'll do a little bit more. I'll do a little bit more talking.
Oh God, I was in my happy place. That's right. Yeah, this is Bill. Bill is joining us. I know, isn't it? Isn't he? I don't. It is. It's transcendental meditation. It is. I can go elsewhere. I go to fifth dimension. I go to the place where there is nothing but light and love, and I feel so empowered. I feel entirely different than I did 10 minutes ago.
I do too. That's why I came on. I was like, I closed my eyes. I'm feeling it. It's all about the positive message. Also,
Yeah.
the power of words can transition into the power of self-healing.
Yes.
And it's you have to embrace it. You have to feel it. Like I was thinking, what if I heard Rupert doing that while I was laying in my bed with my eyes closed in my dark room right before I'm going to bed?
Yeah.
You know, what a way to meditate. And because that's what I do at night. When I'm laying there, I forget about all the things that are going on, and I try to ascend for myself. And also, it's a spiritual message. You know, it's that global positive spiritual message that I think everyone, and it doesn't mean you have to be religious. The definition of spirituality is being at peace with oneself and your surroundings and the people around you. Anyone can embrace that message. And I felt it very powerful. And I think it's reflected in the chat room. A lot of people like, what a wondrous prayer. There was a whole bunch of comments. I'm like, I didn't want to look because I have my eyes closed for the show. So, because we literally only have 3 minutes, but Rupert, that was amazing. And both of you, just a great message tonight for all the people that are viewing this and those that are listening right now. So I commend all of you, and love to everybody that's watching this and listening in that chat room.
Thank you, Bill.
3 minutes.
Bill, when you started talking, the muscles right here where my third eye are started twitching.
Mine too.
Really?
Like, oh,
That
almost like itchy from inside.
Because they're here. And the fact that you came out to say that specifically, Bill, I think that also was meaningful to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for what you both are doing tonight and the messaging, and we need that. We need that.
Well, we're going to be doing it on a much more frequent basis, because I think that what the world needs now is love, sweet love. And each one of us is the physical embodiment of that consciousness, that higher consciousness. And I know we've gone over time on the show tonight, Bill, but you're always so patient with me. But I want to thank Rupert. Please keep an eye out. Stay in touch. You know, stay in touch on Buttercup, on Facebook. Go to the link that is attached to this show, and you can reach Rupert directly. And join us. Join us. If there was ever a good cause, this is it, for the salvaging of the planet and the people upon it. And so that said, Rupert, thank you, my dear, dear, sweet man. And Bill, I love you dearly. And
Rupert is coming to KGRA in the first week of November. So everybody, it'll probably be on Thursdays. I'm sure we'll get the word out. Annie will get the word out. But I'm really looking forward to this. I am really looking forward to
I'm his biggest cheerleader. Shut me up when it comes to this man. But thank you all for joining us tonight on A World Awakening. Remember this, we are a world actively awakening to our reality and seeing our old reality with new eyes. We are each powerful, and our superpower is love. It is an action word. It is a verb. Be the light that you seek. Be the phoenix. Rise from the ashes and light up the universe. Be that bright light in the firmament, and we'll see you in the fifth dimension. Good night, everyone.